So for more on this, we now turn to Lisa Daftari. She is a Fox News contributor and a Middle East journalist. Lisa, great to see you.
See you.
So in this interview with Ann Curry, it sounds like the new president is extending some olive branches. He says he's willing to release some political prisoners. How should we interpret what this new leader is saying?
Right. It sounds like he's very well versed on the rhetoric, and now it'll be time for him to show us action, which we have no reason to really believe. The window of opportunity for diplomacy has been open with Iran for many, many times, and they've never really proven themselves to be more than just talking points, which is what we're hearing from them now. The release of these 11 prisoners, the attempt to make nice on the eve of the UN General Assembly. I mean, why not? Why should these prisoners be in prison to begin with? Why not release our American pastor that's being held in Iran? Why are there hangings every day in Iran? Why are you still helping the Bashar al-Assad regime in Syria? It's almost as if our administration is dealing with Iran as if they have two different personalities. There's the one that's helping Bashar al-Assad, the one we have a problem with. We almost had military strikes against Syria, and now they're going to be marching into New York City this week and addressing the world on the global stage.
Right, there's a public face and then there's possibly the real face. But is this an opportunity? Is Rohani more of a moderate than Ahmadinejad?
Well, Rohani is a moderate on paper. He's a self-labeled moderate, but his actions, his resume, the blood on his hands, I think, speaks much louder than his well-versed diplomatic rhetoric that he's offering us right now. And the other thing is, Rohani and the Iranian regime is looking over to the way that we're handling Syria, and they're thinking to themselves, we can play out the clock, we can do what we want, the same way that Bashar al-Assad played out the clock. He crossed the red line. He was very delinquent in many ways, but when the word diplomacy comes on, the U.S. gets turned on, and they will be charmed into going for that once again.
Here's another moment in the interview where they talk about Syria and how the new president feels about the U.S. attempting to pursue diplomacy now instead of a military strike. Let's listen.
We consider war a weakness. Any government that decides on war, we consider a weakness. And any government that decides on peace, we look on it with respect for peace.
Okay, so he has respect. He's using the word respect for, I guess, how President Obama is handling this. And you heard in James Rosen's report that diplomats say they are cautiously optimistic by hearing this. What do you hear?
I'm going to be I'm more cautious than optimistic. We have really no reason to believe that this time around is going to be any different. At the same time, on Friday, I mean, Ann Curry she should have really questioned him about, what did you tell the people of Iran on Friday when you addressed them and said, we will by no means back down. We will by no means, we're not ready. Although we might be ready to sit down with the U.S., we're by no means ready to stop the enrichment of uranium. That speaks much louder than any of these talking points do.
He talked about that in the interview. He says, we have never pursued or sought a nuclear bomb, and we are not going to do so.
Well, how about the enrichment of uranium? Why
That's
are
for,
you
they say,
right?
for nuclear
so
power.
So why not? She should have really pushed that point and say, why do you keep going on with this? Look, he has an agenda. He's coming to the UN General Assembly. He's doing these interviews. His goal, and this is how he ran his campaign, his goal is to improve Iran's economy, which has been awfully reckoned by the sanctions that have been placed on by the West. So his goal is to come, play nice. Hopefully the U.S. and the West will loosen the sanctions, give the Iranians some economic breathing space to do what? To, again, go on with their proliferation, and the people of Iran will stay off the streets if their economy is ameliorated.
So what is the answer? I mean, given if they want to improve their economy, maybe that is a golden opportunity somehow for the U.S. to make inroads. What do you suggest? Right,
but the pressure has to be maintained on the Iranian regime. There's no reason to believe they're guilty until proven innocent in this case. And we could be optimistic in the sense that, you know what, you can say to the Iranian regime, we can say to President Rohani, you're a new president, let's start fresh. Show us. This is not time for President Obama or our administration to be congratulating Rohani on becoming a moderate president, or for releasing these prisoners, or for any of that. It's time for us to say, take responsibility in Syria, free our American pastor being held in Iran, free the other 800 prisoners. Why 11? What are the rest of them being held for? These are journalists, these are Christians and Baha'is and other people who should not be imprisoned to begin with. So show us what you're talking about.
Actions speak louder than words. Lisa Daftari, thanks so much for breaking it down for us.